ladies and gents, Romie Reviews here. Please like, comment, subscribe. Quick update. American Horror Story, that was too much satanic mess for me, so I had to bow out of that. I watched the episode, but I couldn't do a review for that. That was woof. So anyway, this is How to Get Away with Murder, Season 5, Episode 6. We can find him. Poor Bonnie. Poor Bonnie. Miller, we see in present day, Miller, as in Bonnie's boyfriend, actually has a ring for Bonnie, and he wants to propose to Bonnie. And apparently this is a month later after the stuff that we saw in this current episode. I'm still offended. I'm still hurt by what I saw, but let's just move forward. Bonnie is talking to her sister, and she sees her sister as a daughter. So that ruins everything, because Bonnie wants to know, ayo, because her sister was saying, I'm here because you're here after 10 years and you want something from me. And then and I'm thinking, excuse me? You wanted to go baby. You can get all the smoke in the world just because of that. But Bonnie's sister is telling Bonnie that, oh, she's so sorry. She went back to the hospital because the father said that we need to get the baby, and so then she pretended to be Bonnie and got the baby, and the father took the baby and took it to someone else's house and essentially sold the baby. And I said, what? What? And Bonnie looks numb. Bonnie just has that look of, I can't even murk this bee because she has a daughter. I can't do this. Ugh, poor Bonnie. Poor Bonnie. Now, we see that Asher and Connor's mom are there. They're there to visit. Connor's mom is really nice and bubbly. Oliver's mom, I hope I said Oliver instead of Asher, but Oliver's mom is more reserved and kind of looking at everything like, I could just tell. I could just tell based on that look. That was her real response. Like, And they're looking at the wedding venue, and it's small. It doesn't look nice. It's just, she's just looking at this like, really? This is what we have going on? But we'll talk about her later, because she definitely was giving attitude to everyone. The governor wanted to meet with Annalise, as we said, and the governor was honest, which already had me thinking this is a red flag. The governor said that she actually likes Annalise. Not only does she like Annalise, she wants Annalise to work with her. And because I know what happened at the end, I'm so pissed. She wants Annalise to work with her. I'm thinking, Annalise, run. But she said no. She'll actually fund the clinic herself. Now she won't be an enemy of the governor. And look what Annalise was able to do on her own in Philadelphia. Imagine if she had the support of the full state behind her, what she could do to ratify, the rest of the states in these prison bills and get everyone's court cases heard and re-seen. Like, this could be huge. So Annalise is thinking, So Annalise has 2 days to figure out if she's going to go and do that. Tegan is taking over for Annalise today, and Tegan is talking about this diet pill. The diet pill is called Gut Suckers. Gut Suckers is one of those lose weight fast diet pills, and apparently they're being sued because people weren't losing the weight that they thought they would. Like, die. And I think even at one point, one of the students mentioned that, oh yeah, we know people who take that and it just makes them use the bathroom. And I thought maybe they could use that as a case. Yeah, you are losing the weight. You're losing fluids and a little bit of bile, but they have to figure out who's going to run point. And Laurel's going to do it. And Michaela, of course, wants to do it. Laurel asks Tegan, why doesn't Michaela? She has more experience with this. No, your family costs us way too much money. You're going to earn your keep around here. And I said, okay, Tegan, whatever you want, whatever you say. Now, Laurel is also talking to Frank about Gabe. Laurel keeps staring at Gabe, and she's staring at him because now she knows. Now she knows that he can't be trusted. And I'm just trying to figure out how much exactly does she know. they didn't fully clarify what it is that now she knows. Just keep that in mind. And Laurel knows how to keep it secret. Kind of. A little bit. Maybe. Anyway. Nate and his father are talking. The problem is Nate thought that he could get his father out of jail sooner and at least into a mental facility. But all of them are booked. It's not just the jails that are overcrowded. It's also the mental facilities. They're overbooked, and his father still has to be there. And his father's thinking, you know what? This is retribution for what I did to that man. And it was like, no, you paid your dues. His father said, no, the only way I'm going to really pay my dues is if I apologize to him. And he wants Nate to find a relative that he could write a letter to. I'm thinking, I don't know if that's smart. Especially depending on how that letter is crafted and what happens afterwards with that relative. But that's his father, so Nate's going to figure that out. Now, Annalise has to deal with her boss. And her boss, what's his name? I'm going to call him C because, so, Mr. C, that's what we'll call him right now. Because I think his name starts with a C. Mr. C is pissed because he knows that Annalise, he has eyes and ears everywhere. He knows Annalise went over to the mayor's office. He knows what they discussed. So he's telling her, I can see you 10 ways to Sunday if you even think about leaving. I'm thinking, this is Annalise Keating we're talking about. That way it's not going to work. You can't go and threaten someone like Annalise Keating and it work. She's not the one. So that's what Annalise said. If you even think about doing that, I'll go and say that I had to leave and you're really trying to sue me to cover your butt because of misconduct. And I said, ooh. Now, Asher and Connor's mom were having this weird moment where I think Asher was pouring Connor's mom a drink. I said, oh, is that how it started? Nasty. They probably became really close during this planning of the events. At some point, both of the moms are brought into the bachelor parties. I'm thinking, what type of mess is this? Oliver's mom is saying, no, we can chip in. She was like, she can chip in $10,000 to make sure that you have a decent wedding place. I said, oh, so you worked hard and you made sure you had savings. Okay, I'm not mad at you. Connor's mom doesn't have that type of money. Connor's dad's the one that has money. And so that's when it's like, well, can't you just call his dad? His dad's rich, right? Connor's not in a good place with the dad, which is a trigger for the mom. The mom's thinking, so is all of this happening because Connor is not the best type of person? But Connor and Oliver talk because Connor is trying to say, you need to go and stand up to your mom. You need to put your foot down. You need to tell her everything. And we realize that she doesn't know that her son is HIV positive. So that's something. Now, Tegan wanted some results. So Tegan asks, hey, I've given you some time. What have you come up with? Laurel said, why don't we just go and say that the case, this can't be a case because the media company was the one who put out the ad. And so they should be the ones held liable. Tegan said, okay. And she had an Annalise moment. Tell Miss Castile why that's not going to work. And of course, Michaela says you can't do that because under law, a third-party corporation that's representing your corporation, they're not the ones held liable for anything having to do with your corporation. So they're going to have to go to the drawing board. Now, Gabriel says that maybe he says, Laurel, I can help you out. You helped me out. She's like, no, I'll pass. And they have this weird conversation about Wes. And apparently he knows that Wes and Laurel were a thing. He knows that baby's Wes's. He said that the whole school knows. But then she said, so why did you act like you didn't know? And he said, well, I didn't want to seem like a stalker. It's like, I'm not interested in you if you think that's the reason why I'm doing all of this. And she was just like, leave me alone. And it was weird. It was very weird. We can't trust Gabriel. Why is he trying to creep his way into the Keating 5? Like, he's more than just a suck-up. Especially the revelations that we had, or the supposed revelations. We don't really know what's going on at all. By now, we see that Bonnie and her sister. Bonnie's snooping because she knows she can't trust her sister. At one point, she does talk to Annalise, and Annalise was talking to Frank. Annalise said this is bad because Bonnie, she took over as the mom. They have a mom, but she took over as the mother in that family dynamic, and so she wants to protect Julie, even especially now that Julie has a daughter. Bonnie said that she's fine, but Bonnie goes snooping. She's talking to Frank. She realizes, why does her recovering drug addict sister have a gun? And so Bonnie confronts her sister, and her sister said, look, I have the gun because I have a daughter. I need to protect her. And you just don't understand how hard it is, especially it's like trying really hard and doing all that. So Bonnie, she was a little bit over it, but she decided, all right, I'll let that slide. I'll let that slide. We see that same guy who looked like he was a recovering drug addict, or attempting to be. He's the one taking Julie to AA, which had me wondering, well, is he a boyfriend? Like, what is she supposed to sponsor him? I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. We can talk about Annalise and Nate. So there's conflicting stuff going on. Annalise still has to decide what's going to happen with her, what decisions she's going to make. And she goes into her office. Mr. C's there again, her boss, and he looked over her contract and lets her know that there's a clause on page 12, section B, paragraph 3, or paragraph C, that you have to essentially perform. This is a performance clause. Your budgets will be based upon your performance. You won't have a set budget, essentially is the case, which is a big issue. And Annalise didn't see that. I'm thinking, Annalise, what are you doing? What are you doing? So Annalise goes back. She talks to the governor, and the governor says, oh, well, that can easily be changed. I can go and talk to my people, and we can make sure that that budget is finite. And Annalise said, oh, okay. Well, while you're doing that, I also need a pardon for, Nathaniel Leahy Sr. And Annalise, the governor said, well, that's asking for a lot. Annalise said, excuse me, you're asking for me. So what is it going to be? That's when the governor tells her, okay, well, I'll figure it out. I'll make some calls and I'll let you know. That's not something I could just directly do. I have to talk to a couple of people. And Annalise said, fair enough for now. But still made me nervous because Nate on the back end is also trying to see if he can get his father into, a mental facility housing. And actually, he does do that. He talked to Miller, and Miller is going to do that for him. Miller was able to achieve that. So then that made me think, uh-oh, Annalise. Annalise, I know that's different from a full pardon, but still. And they had this brief conversation about Bonnie and what's going on with Bonnie. Miller says, oh, she's just at home. Remember to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe and come back. Resting from the flu. And the thing is, it's funny because everyone knows something, but because no one fully trusts each other, everyone has segment pieces of information. Nate knows what's going on and the real issue with Bonnie. Nate just wanted to see is Bonnie still alive in one piece. That's all that really was. I wanted to see how close Bonnie and Miller are. Now, Oliver talks to his mom, because there was another separate back and forth, and Oliver is not really feeling Connor's mom. It's very apparent. She's not really feeling Asher either. It's very apparent. But the real issue is she talks to Oliver. Oliver lets her know, because she's thinking, oh, is it that Connor is making these decisions for you? Because we see this wedding book, and apparently ever since Oliver was a little kid, he always wanted to get married. Getting married, starting a family was a big thing for him. And so that's why she's trying to figure out, why are you trying to downplay this wedding stuff? Is your boyfriend, is your fiance controlling you? And he said no. Actually, and that's when he tells her that, you know, he's ashamed and he's embarrassed that she told him to be safe. Like, once he came out to her, she told him to be safe, but he didn't do that. Like, there was a slip up. And because there was a slip up, he contracted HIV. He's undetectable. Well, he's not undetectable, but he's low on the spectrum of detection. And he's okay. His health is all right. He'll still be able to live a long time, but now he has this disease. And she was just saying how, you know, Connor knows, Connor accepted him for who he is. That's why he loves Connor. Part of that, to me, kind of sounded like almost settling. I know Oliver really loves Connor, but whenever someone has a major issue that kind of affects their self-esteem and how they view themselves, it always makes you feel like, well, are you kind of doing this or kind of doing that because you don't feel like you can go out and get someone else that'll also deal with some of your other issues? But his mom was more receptive, so she even joked and said, well, Connor should have told me. So it's fine. It's fine for now. Frank actually went to Julie's AA meeting, and Julie said that her sister's back in Thailand. They haven't talked for years, and you know, she has this huge secret that she's keeping from her sister. That's the reason why she started doing drugs. That's the reason why her life spiraled. And now with her sister back, she's nervous. She doesn't know how to handle it. Frank plays it for Annalise. Annalise said, look, I can't help her right now. Bonnie will be fine. You can handle it. You make the decision if you want to go and tell her. So Bonnie does hear the recording from Frank, and Bonnie's face is just has that look of, I'm gonna murk this, but I need to know what's going on first. So let me just breathe again and move forward from that. Now we see that Laurel and came up with a new idea for the case. Why don't we just settle? I said, what? Settle? Yes. Instead of this $100 million lawsuit, they'll just pay $5 million. If they just settle and acknowledge that, okay, it was false advertising, or I forgot what the details were, but there's a loophole where if you acknowledge wrongful doing, then there's a punitive fee. And so for that, it would be $5 million. Tegan loved it. And Laurel said it was actually Michaela that really came up with this. And so Tegan just had to look up, all right, so I guess you two are in the doghouse right now, whatever. Tegan's excited. She goes to her Mr. C's office to tell him what they're going to do. And he just looks like his world's about to end. She knows why. And so then she says, this is about Annalise, right? She's going and considering that governor thing. Here's how this goes. Annalise is the type of person where she wants to feel loved and appreciated, and she deserves to be. So you need to go and grovel, beg, plead with her, show her that you care and that you want her to be here and that you're going to do whatever it takes to make that happen. If you do that, then she'll be on your side. Then she'll trust you. Then she'll appreciate you. If you don't, she's going to bounce. And she deserves. I said, look at Tegan, you like Annalise, don't you? You like Annalise, don't you? First it was a friend. You respect her as a strong woman, a strong black woman. But you like Annalise too. It's the dark skin. Anyway, Frank also tells Bonnie that after doing more research, he realized Julie's story. So he found the house. There's a kid that should be Bonnie's son's age who's there. He's blonde, male, and hypothetically it could be Bonnie's child. So her sister went back to that house after the deal was supposed to be done. So your sister is completely lying to you. Your son could be alive. This could be your son. So now Bonnie's pissed. Annalise went back to the governor, and the governor actually accepted Annalise's case, and granted clemency for Nate Sr. So all of his charges will be dropped. He could be a free man, and she's over the moon. She's so excited. Like I told you, Miller got Nate's dad housing. Bonnie talks to Julie. Bonnie talks to Julie, and Julie says, Bonnie, I have to tell you something. After I took the baby from the hospital, Dad wanted me to bring the baby back. All that's true. But I went and... No, the plan was to get the baby. I went out of the car because he wanted to bring the baby back to the house, and you told me whatever we do, protect the child at all costs from our family. So that's what I did, Bonnie. I took the child from the hospital. I went into the woods and I buried him. What? You did? Bonnie had no words. She had no word. Her child's... If her lying, conniving sister is actually telling the truth for once, Bonnie's child's dead. That's... So then, and if that's the case, who is Gabe? What is going on here? This is too much. And we see Gabe, like I said, looking into into Michaela, thinking, why is he stalking Michaela? Because he told Laurel, I'm not, interested in you, or I'm not stalking you, essentially. Annalise went back to her office because the thing is, the governor told Annalise, like I said, that Nate Sr., he can go. He's free. So what do you say? Annalise said yes. So she went to Mr. C, told Mr. C she respects him. She appreciates everything that he's done for her. When no one else was willing to work with her, he was willing to do it. But she is on the precipice of something life-changing for the world. And how does it look like? I mean, how would it look as far as her not taking that opportunity to help millions and millions and millions of people? What does that say about her? What for her to stay here? This just the resources. It's not enough for what would be able to do. And so then after she was done, and you could tell she meant everything that she said. He called up front desk, security, please deactivate Miss Keating's badge and please remove her from the premises. I said, you did. That was my first reaction. Like, so you that. But then I had to calm down because I realized, okay, he went to bat for Annalise. He really did. And so I can't be mad at him for being hurt. He reacted out of pure hurt because how is his agency going to be saved now? Because all of her stuff's going to be gone from... And then we get to the end. Annalise goes to Nate's house, tells Nate that your father, he's free. No, he's free to go. And while that's happening, Nate Sr. was writing a letter. He was writing a letter to the victim's family, and he was just saying how he blamed, the court system, he blamed the family, but he realized it was his action that got him where he was, and that no matter how he felt, imagine how the family would feel with their loved one being dead and gone. And so then, in part of the letter, it was weird because he said, but it's over and I'm going to make it right, which almost made it sound like, wait a minute, what? What does that mean? I hope that letter isn't used to kind of go and kind of wash away the fact that while he was being transferred, Nate got a call because Nate said, wait, just let me know when my father gets there so that I can go and pick him up because he's free. And then that smile disappeared that he had because they told him. And then his father is dead. His father's dead. Nate Sr.'s father is dead. You see a pool of blood. You see the note that he was writing, the car that was probably supposed to take him away. It looks like someone shot him because he couldn't have done that himself. It looked like a bullet. We just see Nate Sr. And Nate's such a good guy. Come on. Are you kidding me? There's so many people we need to get rid of. And Nate Sr.'s father, after Nate patched up with his father, after his father was going to come out of jail, he was a victim of the system and he did his time after doing something horrible. And they killed him? Nate? This is, his wife died, his father's, they're trying to kill Nate. And they're trying to kill Annalise. Because now it looks like a cover-up. Now it looks like, oh, Annalise signed with the governor, and now someone in that office got Nate killed. We still don't know who Gabriel really is and why is he looking into the Keating file. And now Annalise doesn't even have the support from Kaplan and Gold. Now the governor doesn't really need her anymore. The main person's dead. Oh, this is too much. Too much. So that's it. Please like, comment, subscribe. Oh, I'm doing a separate video. I'm mad. Really? Nate Sr. of all people.